Captain Marcus, sir. Apologies, I was on my way to my quarters. I have just returned from a hunting party with the royal heir. Terribly sorry, I didn't see you there. What can I do for you, sir? I'm terribly sorry, sir. I'm not sure I follow. I've been in the same posting since I first became a knight. I see. And these orders are from the king himself. Thank you, sir. This is an honour. It is a privilege. I will proceed to my quarters to reflect on this opportunity. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Long live the king.
What to do. Well, first things first, I need to get out of this armour. I should have known today was going slightly too well. The hunting party was a success, a good haul. The young royal's archery is certainly improving, and we managed to make it home early. Today was going to be a good day, and had all the signs of being peaceful. But then again, I should expect no less. After all, I have been by their side for many a year now, since I first became a knight. And, peaceful is not a word I would use to describe a single day of the time spent together. Truth be told, when I first met them, I thought them nothing more than an insufferable ass. Too big for their own britches, full of themselves, and just another pompous royal with a stick planted firmly up their rear I could have sworn that I heard something. Rustle. Probably just buckles rattling off the inside of my armour. This thing weighs a metric ton. I always thought it would get easier the older I got, but if anything, it's just giving me back and knee problems. I really need to lose the pauldrons, I think. They do make me look quite dashing, but they do give one hell of a compressed spine. Oh well, no matter. I don't suppose I'll be wearing this armour for quite a while. I mean, what use is there for ceremonial armour when you're in the middle of the forest? Who would have thought it? Little old me, scrawny little Farian, hand-picked to be the latest member of the Evergreen Court, the elite regiment of knights protecting the delicate alliance between humans and forest elves. Such an honour I thought never to be bestowed again after the last candidate. But it is an honour that I must accept, regardless of what and who I leave behind. No. I have enjoyed my time as the personal guard for the Royal Highness, but It's time to go. It's time to move on. Show yourself, fiend! You dare break into the chambers of a High Court knight, I shall have your head, Your Highness? What are you doing in my bedchambers? This is highly inappropriate. Hang on a second. Why are you getting angry with me? You're the one who broke in here and... hang on a second. How long were you in here for? Since before I entered. I see, so I take it that you heard... You heard everything, yes, okay. Perhaps I was a little harsh with my wordings. I did not mean to cause offence by any means, Your Highness, when I called you, what was it again? Yes, a pompous royal with a stick planted firmly up there. So you did, in fact, hear everything. I apologise. I believed I was in my own company. However, I understand that is no way to speak of yourself, of a member of the royal family, especially one who I am the sworn confidant and protector of. That being said, Your Highness, I do have to ask, why are you here? My bedchambers are strictly for my own use. If you had needed to find me, you could have simply sent a serf, or any of my men. I don't understand why you figured that you would wait here. Not that it is any of my business to assume that Your Highness knows what is and is not a good idea. It's just that, well, perhaps if you had not snuck into my chambers, you would not have overheard my rant, which has caused such offence to you, Your Highness. I'm terribly sorry, Your Highness. I must have misheard you. You say that you aren't offended by what I called you. Well, yes, I know that we have established some form of rapport in our years together, but I assumed that there were still very strict lines of conduct for how we are to address each other. More importantly, how I am to address you. I know that you are quite fond of coming up with interesting and quite niche nicknames and insults from myself. However, I was not aware that this was something that you particularly enjoyed from my end. If I may, then, Your Highness, if you are not offended by what I said, why are you angry? You are angered at my acceptance of Captain Marshall's offer. Your Highness, I do not have the same luxury as you do. I do not have the luxury of choice. I go where I am sent. And in this case, I have been sent to the nirvana of every single knight's possible career. It's the crown jewel. It's the magnum opus. To be sent to the Evergreen Court is to be immortalised as a hero. There are only 14 spaces open at any one time. A vacancy has not been offered since the collapse of the 15th night. we assumed that perhaps there would be no more spaces given, that once the 15th vacancy was not refilled, that the court would simply collapse as its numbers dwindled. They would not replace the other 14, but this is not the case. They wish for a new 12th night, and they wish me to be that night. It's an honour, but it's also a duty. And as much as I'm sure that you have slept through most of the lessons I have tried to instill in you, I am confident that you know the importance of doing one's duty, Your Highness. But do I want to go? Did you perhaps space out there, Your Highness? Mentioning that I don't get a choice. I do not get the luxury of wanting to go. I simply am going. But do I want to go? Okay, all right, Your Highness. Do I want to go? I will try to satisfy your curiosity. Well, I have been in the same station for my entire career. I was very lucky to be a young knight assigned to protecting you, the king's only heir. And despite the challenges that you have presented, I have come to somewhat enjoy your company. I have even at times thought of you as my friend. But I knew this position would not last. I accepted the fact that one day we would diverge, our paths would separate, that you would go on to pursue a life as leader, as ruler, as royal, and I would, well, I would stay as I am. So to be offered a position that is somewhat of a promotion, a lateral promotion, if you will, it's a nice consolation prize. You know, for missing out on your constant stream of horribly unfunny jokes and your strange cravings for food at odd times of the day, for your penchant to cause trouble and your unmistakable talent to get yourself out of whatever situation you put yourself into. Your well, as I said, this is a fair consolation prize, and I am happy to go. Besides, we knew this could not last forever. Eventually, I would have to stop saving your skin. And who knows? Perhaps now you will finally get a knight with a sense of humour. That was always my biggest shortcoming in your eyes. Sir Stick in the Mud, you called me. Among other things, mind you. May I ask what's wrong, Your Highness? I'm sorry, I'm not sure I'm following. You say, what if you aren't happy with me leaving? Well, Your Highness, that is something you would have to take up with Captain Marshall and indeed your father. I couldn't possibly comment. I could only say that I am grateful that my presence has not been too much of a burden on you. I understand that my duties sometimes conflicted with your personal desires, but my goal was always to keep you safe and to guide you on the right path. I'm simply glad that hearing your opposition to my leaving, that I have been an overall positive experience for you. And that perhaps in your eyes I have been as much of a friend as you have been to me. But I really must ask again, Your Highness, why are you here? This is highly inappropriate to sneak into one's bedchambers, especially one who is so close to you. This could be perceived in many unsavoury ways by anyone who were to come across us in this position. I'm sure your father would not be very happy with any of the possible explanations that come to mind, really. Not that your father would disapprove of me. He's always sung my praises, but this is perhaps one of the more rebellious things you've ever done. That would definitely be a harder pill for him to swallow if he were to get the wrong idea. Your Highness? Are you quite all right? You seem rather troubled. You say you came here to talk to me in private. Right. Well, Your Highness, I see no reason why we can't simply have this conversation now. There's no reason to be so glum, so down. We can still have this talk that you wish. It doesn't matter. Your Highness, come now. You know me better than that. If it matters to you, it matters to me. Now, what's on your mind? It doesn't matter because now I'm leaving. And you don't want me to go. Your Highness, I understand that change can be scary. If perhaps I have demonstrated some characteristic or trait that has made you feel so comfortable, I can hand-pick a replacement from one of my men who I know shares that trait, if that's something you... Your Highness, apologies, but if you do not wish for me to find a replacement, then what would you have me do? What would be wrong with me selecting who I believe to be the best possible replacement for you? What could possibly be wrong with that? Because you wouldn't love them? I'm sorry, Your Highness, I don't understand. Wait a second. You mentioned that you were here to talk in private, and that my leaving has somewhat complicated that discussion. Oh, Your Highness, you can't be serious. Were you here to try to confess your love to me? You say nothing, but you turn beet red. Oh, Your Highness, you cannot be serious. What do you mean? What do I mean? This is hardly appropriate. Not only am I not from the same noble stock as you, therefore in the pool to be a suitable candidate, I am your sworn protector. I am about as off limits as one could possibly be, and to have feelings for someone like myself is tricky. Very tricky. No, of course you don't care. You've never cared about tradition, have you, Your Highness? God, this is such a headache. And here I thought this would be a good thing, that putting some distance between us would finally give me space to address how I feel and to finally put to bed this ridiculous crush that I've had on you. I am... Again, a conversation not meant for your ears. I really have to work on saying things inside my head. Now, please stop smiling like that. I do hate it when you gloat. Alright, fine. Perhaps there are... No, not feelings for you. Not feelings. There are... stirrings. There are smurs of fondness for you that I feel inside. Okay, fine, yes, I have been head over heels in love with you for quite some time now, and it has been unbearable, and I have dealt with it, and I thought I had put this all behind me, and this promotion, this step away would have been exactly what I needed to get over this, and now you have just made this so much harder by telling me that not only do you not hate me for how I feel, but that you feel the same way. And now the person who I am madly in love with is here in my bedchambers. So, what happens now? I suppose that what I should do is my duty, and my duty would be to escort you from my chambers and to prepare myself for my journey to the forests, to the Evergreen Court. That would be the responsible thing to do, wouldn't it? Lock the door. I said lock the door. We don't want to be disturbed now, do we? Yes, I know what I said about the importance of duty, but just tonight, and only for tonight, duty be damned. Now, unless you have any reservations about this, lock the door.